forgot to record, sorry. So it doesn't matter. We'll start from now, the recording. So here's the verse. I mean, it's choti hai thodi. Maybe you guys can't see it, but I can read it out to you, and then I can read out the English translation. We'll just go through two verses today because they are to understand those is really to understand the Gita in a way. And it takes a long time. So the first verse, 11th verse of chapter 2, which starts the teaching of Gita, it says Shri Bhagwan Uvacha. That means Shri Bhagwan said, Ashocyan anvashocastvam pragyavadanshcha bhashase gatasun agatasunascha nanu shochanti panditaha. So what it means is when he says Ashocyan anvashocastvam, Ashocyan means something that is not worthy to be grieved over. Anvashochastvam, you, tvam is you are grieving, you're suffering over something that is not worthy of suffering. Pragyavadanshcha bhashase, but you are speaking as if you are a very wise man. You're saying, ऐसे धर्म के लिए खराब हो जाएगा, ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसे करना चाहिए. So you're talking like a wise man, but you're full of sorrow, full of grief. Then he says, Gata suna gata sunascha. That means for either the ones which are living or the things which are dead. Neither for the living nor for the dead. Nanu shochanti panditaha. Na anu shochanti panditaha. That means the panditaha, the people who know, the people who have this wisdom, they do not grieve. They do not suffer. So I'm going to shut this for a second because we can then talk about it. So this is, when I saw this verse, I was flabbergasted because I said, what is he saying? Is he saying that Arjun should is wrong to grieve? That he's going to kill his grandfather and he's going to kill his teacher and he is so grieved because of it. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Because that means Arjun has some emotion with him. So what is wrong in it? We will all grieve. If I have to do something like that in that situation, I will be full of sorrow. Who is there in this world who will not be full of sorrow? So what is he saying? And it takes a while to understand. What he's saying is that first of all, he's saying Anu Shochanti. That means there's a difference between grief. Shochanti means grief. Anu Shochanti means suffering. So if you find yourself in a bad situation, you've seen the loss of something or somebody, you're suffering, grief will automatically happen. That is a natural result. But grief should come and go. If you have a proper understanding of this world, a proper understanding of yourself, a proper, have the wisdom, you will say this is part of life. Grief comes and it will go. For some time you will grieve, then you'll be okay. Because your attitude, your basic mindset would not change. But if you are attached, deeply attached, that grief becomes suffering. And that suffering doesn't go. It stays with you. Even if you're smiling on the face, inside you're grieving. That is not a bad thing or good thing. It's not that. It just says that this person doesn't understand, doesn't have the knowledge. So what Gita is trying to tell you from the first verse, which is actually like Swami Paramarthanand, who I have listened to quite a lot, he says you can call this the emblem of the Gita, which is that Gita tells you that it is possible to live in this world without suffering, without this incessant grief. That's the Gita's claim. And it says, how do you live that? Through knowledge. If you have the proper understanding of yourself and the world, that means if you are a panditaha, this is not the pandit jo hum pandit kalte rehte hain. Panditaha here means a person who understands himself. If you understand yourself, what you really are, who you really are, then it is possible to live in this world without suffering, not without grief. Grief hoti rehti hai. We will all have ups and downs in life. It's not, we will all have ups and downs. We'll go up sometime, we'll feel down sometime. थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर नीचे होता रहेगा. But deep inside you, you're not going to lose your optimism. You're not going to lose your happiness, your contentment because of what is happening in the world. It's possible to live like that if you have self knowledge. So, this first verse of the Gita is very, it's a verse that we should remember. कभी हमको अपने आप doubt हो तो we should recall it and remember what it's saying. Because it's a very positive message, very uplifting message for everybody. And it's saying it's not, ये नहीं है कि कोई खास आदमी है जो खुश रहेंगे. No, सब खुश रह सकते हैं. The difference between a person who's suffering and the person who is not is knowledge, nothing else. It's an understanding. And that understanding, you don't have to be a vidwan, like a big PhD to understand. You have to,
In other words, does it mean that we should have no attachments? I mean, are they all superficial?
So that is another I'm so glad you brought it up, Didi, because these are misunderstandings that we develop as we go through life and we learn Gita. It's not that you should not have no attachments. You cannot help your attachments.
Right.
Can I tell this to mummy से भी मेरी ये बात होती है कभी कभी. She says दोनों attachment नहीं होनी चाहिए. मैंने कहा you try. Can you stop attachment? You can't stop attachments. क्या करोगे आप अगर if you're attached to your children, what will you do? Or your husband or your wife? What will you will say, no, I'm not attached. You'll repress those feelings under the carpet. That is even worse. Right? Because the feelings are there, you're just not acknowledging them. So Gita never says.
Because you're not at peace till their sufferings are gone.
Yes.
So that is the depth of attachment, no?
Correct. But no, it's not that. It's not that you're not at peace till the suffering is gone, their suffering is gone. It is that this is the story we tell ourselves, Didi. The reality is that we need that attachment. Let's say I'm very attached to my children. It's not because of their need, it's because of my need. I need to be attached because I feel my children complete my life. Without my children, my life is खोखली. My concern is with my life. हम सोचते हैं कि ये सब बच्चों के लिए कर रहे हैं, बच्चों के लिए है, उसके लिए है, दूसरे के लिए है. लेकिन वो सिर्फ एक छोटी शैलो थिंकिंग है.
पॉइंट तक है.
एक पॉइंट तक है. अगर आप सच्ची मुच्ची सोचोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि ये लोगों के लिए नहीं कर रहे, आप अपने लिए कर रहे हो. Right? So Gita doesn't say कि attachment you should not have. Gita says that you will not have attachments if you have knowledge. In other words, Gita is not asking you to stop being
Give up
attached.
attachments.
Gita is telling you to gain knowledge. That is what Gita is saying. If you have knowledge, then automatically your attitude to things will change. अभी हमारे में अपने आपस की नॉलेज नहीं है. हम सोचते हैं कि I am just this little human body which is here for a short while. After some time it will perish. This is what we think. So this is the limit of our knowledge of ourselves. We know the world. We know the universe now. कितनी चीजें पता है हमको, लेकिन we don't know ourselves. When we ask us, who are you? Oh, I'm just this limited body, this jiva. It will perish. Some people say, लोगों ने कहा है कि perish करके तुम दोबारा से जीना शुरू कर दोगे. चलो, we take it on faith. हो सकता है, हो नहीं हो सकता. तुम स्वर्ग में जाओगे, नरक में जाओगे, हमको क्या पता. कोई कहता है तो हम सुन लेते हैं, और अगर कोई विद्वान ने कहा तो हम कहेंगे ओके, विद्वान को पता होगा तो इसलिए हमको पता है. बट वी डोंट हैव एनी सर्टेनिटी, वी डोंट हैव एनी any surety,
guarantee or certainty.
Nothing. We are not even paying attention to ourselves. We are only paying attention to the world outside. That is what is called ignorance in Gita terms. We are self-ignorant. But भगवान कृष्ण is saying कि ये जो तुम्हारी संसारी problems हैं, जो संसार की issue है, it is because you don't know yourself. That is the link, that is the big link that Gita is drawing. It's saying, why are we so attracted to everything that the world offers us? Not everything, but some things. We are attracted to, especially for us in our family and the way our values are, we are attracted to relationships. हमारे लिए these relationships are very important. और हमको लगता है कि these relationships define us. An affectionate person who's doing so much for everybody else, those kind of things are very important. And that is true. That is very good. But in the process, we get attached. And then we find sorrow because attachment means expectation. And those expectations will not always be met. Then we will feel sad. Attachment also means that one way or the other, whatever we are attached to will change. Either will go away or will change, or will perish. The दुनिया का दस्तूर है. And then we suffer. So this verse, it makes it very clear. It says, what does it say? It says it is the panditaha who do not suffer. He didn't say those who don't get attached don't suffer. He didn't say that. He didn't say get out of the world. He didn't say get out of samsara. None of those things. What he's saying is become a panditaha. If you are a panditaha, you will not suffer. That is Bhagavan Krishna's claim, his first claim in the first verse of his teaching. It sets the stage for the entire teaching. So be a panditaha. That's his claim. And our purpose through this whole journey of the Gita is to become a panditaha, is to understand what Gita is saying about ourselves and to learn that so that we can deal with the world better without attachment, without unnecessary and false expectations.
अच्छा, मीता का फोन आया, उनको
हाँ,
क्लास शुरू हुई है, एक मिनट।
I'll put you on mute, Didi. You can talk to her.
निट्टू भैया,
हाँ जी.
तो अटैचमेंट तो जरूरी है, तभी तो आप डिटैचमेंट सीखोगे ना।
That is also
तभी
correct.
फीलिंग आएगी ना। अटैचमेंट होगी तो आप डिफरेंशिएट कर सकोगे कि डिटैचमेंट होता
बिल्कुल ठीक
क्या
बात
है,
है. Yes, yes. भगवान कृष्ण ये नहीं, that's why I'm saying भगवान कृष्ण doesn't say कि this world is bad, कि samsara is bad. He doesn't say attachment is bad. None of those things. Going through this world and living this life and going through the ups and downs of life is a prerequisite for anybody to seek the knowledge of Gita. There's a very, very important and very well-known shlok in a text called the Mundaka Upanishad. I don't know whether I shared with you last time, but मेरे को तो बहुत रट गया है मेरे को ये श्लोक. It says, Parikshaya lokan karam chittan brahmana nirvedam ayat. And then it goes from there. But what it means is that only by examining the ups and downs of life, sorry, only by examining the ups and downs of life, that means only by living life and suffering in life and, having these situations like Arjun had, where you feel like there's no answer. I need something else. Only by that, you gain dispassion. So what you said, Sangeeta, totally correct. कि only attachments होंगी, attachment से दुख मिलेगा, attachment से मोह मिलेगी, तभी फिर आपको पता चलेगा कि detachment की value क्या है. So you're totally right. And that तो Vedant also says. I think Amita is joining. Any other question on this before we go on to the next verse, which is continuation of this? He explains this more. Hi, Mita.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
No,
I
that's
was
okay,
just
no
on the
problem.
road.
So we have started. Glad you joined.
Yes,
We have
yes,
recorded it, so you can always go back and listen.
yes. Thank you.
Anything else, Sangeeta? Did it answer your question?
या एब्सोल्युटली।
Okay. So,
मुझे लगता है वो
हाँ,
जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की जो जर्नी है,
हाँ,
वो समझने के लिए आपको
right.
इन सब फेजेस में से निकलना पड़ता है, तभी
Absolutely.
आपको वैल्यू होगी अटैचमेंट की भी और डिटैचमेंट की भी।
बिल्कुल ठीक है. So अगर आप देखोगे हमारे वेद भी यही कहते हैं. जो हमारे वेद का पूर्वी हिस्सा है ना, इट्स कॉल्ड द वेदा पूर्वा. इट टेल्स यू अबाउट दिस वर्ल्ड ओनली. इट टेल्स यू कि कैसे अटैचमेंट अगर है तो कैसे धार्मिक तरीके से अटैचमेंट करो. इट गिव्स यू ऑल द मंत्रास फॉर गेटिंग वेल्थ. इट सेज एंजॉय द लाइफ, वेल्थ वगैरह वगैरह. बच्चे, ये सब। लेकिन उनका जो आखिरी हिस्सा है वेद का, उसी वेद का, दैट इज कॉल्ड वेद अंत और वेदांत, वो जो हिस्सा है, इट टॉक्स अबाउट डिटैचमेंट. सो द होल ऑफ द वेद इज हेल्पिंग यू. इट्स अ पैरेलल टू योर लाइफ. Just like you lead the bulk of your life through deep attachment, then towards the end of your life, right, when you're really, you've suffered, you've gone through all that, then you go into detachment and spirituality. उसी तरह से Ved also follows the same structure. So it's the whole of our Indian religion follows the same structure. It is really beautifully done. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, because then that also is, it'll take a while. So the next shlok says, I'm going to read it out to you because I don't think you can read it, and then I will read out the English version. Okay? It says, Na tve vaham jatu nasam, na tvam neme janadhipaha, na chaiva na bhavishyamaha, sarve vayamataha param. Okay? So this is now another bold statement from Bhagwan Krishna. Something which, the unprepared will find very baffling. So it says, Na tve vaham jatu nasam. That means never was there a time when I did not exist. Na tvam neme janadipaha. Janadipaha are the kings. So he said all these kings was, it was in the middle of the battlefield. So all these rajas and all were all pade hue the samne khade hue the. So he said all these kings also, nor you, na tvam. So neither I, nor you, nor these kings, there was never a time when they did not exist.
And
Na-
they never.
Yeah, na chaiva na bhavishyamaha, nor will there ever be a time in the future where they will not exist. Sarve vayamataha param, from here onwards. So basically what it's saying is, essentially, I'm going to shut this now. Krishna Bhagwan is saying, actually, तेरे को क्यों दुख है इतना? Why are you crying over these things like उसकी डेथ हो जाएगी, मैं उसको मार दूंगा? These are not worthy of grief. You remember the first thing he said, Ashocyan Anmashochastvam? That means you're grieving over something which is not worthy of grief. This is not worthy of grief because these people are never going to die. You think you're going to kill them, they are not actually killing. You're not killing. You're only killing their physical body, their deha. He says, you have been existing for eternity. I have been existing for eternity. These people will be existing for eternity. They were never born and they will never die.
Never die.
Right? So this is now we are getting into philosophy, because how can he say that they will never die? We see people die all the time, right? We know, we've seen, everybody has experienced death. So how can we say not die? So here we have to understand now. This is the thing with Gita. You can't understand it till someone explains it. So the teacher has to explain what this means. How is this true? So I'm going to share a picture with you, and I'm going to explain to you what is this. What does this mean in our Vedant philosophy or in any Indian philosophy, in Gita philosophy? What does it mean? And this is the starting point of understanding the Gita or the Vedanta. What Krishna Bhagwan is saying is that we are not only this physical body. We actually have a physical body. Within it, there is something called the subtle body. The physical body is called the Sthula Sharir. The subtle body is called the Sukshma Sharir. We have a subtle body within us. Subtle body consists of the mind, जो हमारा mind है ना, which perceives, which thinks, which experiences, which feels, that mind. It consists of something called the pranas. Pranas are the life forces. They are the energy which gives energy to the rest of the body. And it consists of the subtle indriyas. That means the organs of action and the organs of perception. So there are हमारी आंखें हैं, these are indriyas. कान is an indriya. नाक is an indriya. Organ
Mouth,
of sight, organ of um, hearing,
hearing,
smell, organ of taste, our tongue. Our skin is the
touch.
organ of touch, right? So these are the five Gyan Indriyas, five Indriyas through which we perceive the world. And then we also have five Indriyas of action, our arms, our legs, our reproductive organs, our excretory organs, you know. So there are like five such Indriyas of action and five Indriyas of perception.
Perception.
So these are our 10 Indriyas. Now you got to remember when he says the Indriya, he doesn't mean the eye. The eye is not the one that sees. Eye is just a camera. I can, if my eye is not working, okay, people even replace the cornea, they replace the lens, they can replace all kinds of things. That doesn't mean your indriyas have changed. So eye just takes the information and passes it on. The thing that the eye passes the information to is what is the indriya, is the indriya of vision. The thing that the ear passes information to is the indriya of hearing.
Hearing.
Right? So the indriyas are very subtle. They cannot be seen. Just like a mind, हमको पता है mind is there. But has anybody seen the mind? Can you define the mind? Can you say उसकी shape क्या है? कितना बड़ा है? What color is it? Right? Is it heavy or light? We don't know. We can't define the mind. It's not made of physical matter. The things, around us are all made of matter. ये टेबल लैम्प है, कंप्यूटर है, टेबल है, हमारी बॉडी है. It's all made of matter. We can see it, we can touch it, feel it, we can weigh it, all that. But we know that our mind exists. The mind has always been there because mind is the one that experiences. हमको दुख होता है, सुख होता है. It's not our body that experiences. It's not even the brain which experiences. These are all things that process the information. They make it, they amplify it, they integrate it, they process it. But the thing that actually experiences is the mind. The experience is happening in the mind. But nobody has seen the mind. Nobody knows what it looks like. Is your mind and my mind the same? Is your mind bigger than my mind? We don't know. But it's there. Nobody can deny it that it's not there because you experience. I'm experiencing, so I know that the mind is there, which I know I'm experiencing. Nobody has to tell me this. I don't need proof of that. I just know it. So that is the thing about the subtle body. The subtle body is this mind, pranas, indriyas, which allow experience to happen. And nobody talks about it. We never think about it. We are only thinking about the physical body. Oh, मेरे को
लग
operation
गया.
करना है. You know, I need some heart surgery. I need something in my head. Is not my brains. Some blood vessels are not okay. I need to reduce my blood pressure. That's all the physical body. And why do we do it? Because the physical body में अगर कुछ disease है, then it causes pain. But it doesn't cause that pain to the physical body. It causes the pain to the mental body, to the subtle body. So we try to change the physical body so that our subtle body is okay. In fact, if there was no pain, we wouldn't worry. हमको लगेगा कोई बात नहीं, physical body थोड़ी इधर उधर भी होगी तो कोई बात नहीं, there is no pain. It's okay. I'm fine with it. Similarly, not just the physical body, but other bodies around us also cause pain. This world causes us pain in our subtle body. So we try to change the world so that our pain is reduced. How can we change the world and reconfigure it so that it causes us less pain? So all this happens in the subtle body, but we never think about it. And Krishna Bhagwan is saying that this subtle body does not die. When you die, the physical body is the one that dies. But the subtle body, which consists of your mind, your pranas, and your indriyas, this collection, which cannot be seen, which cannot be weighed, which cannot be observed, nothing, this never dies. This carries on. And it takes on the next physical body. तो मैं आपसे अगर पूछूं कि व्हाट आर यू, आप क्या हो? क्या आप फिजिकल बॉडी हो या आप सटल बॉडी हो? व्हाट विल
दोनों।
you think about it, every aspect of your physical body can be changed. Like when you have cataract, I had cataract surgery done. All my lenses are different now. My eyes are different. People, they have a they उनकी लात वात हाथ टूट जाते हैं. They can have prosthetics. You can have an artificial heart, or you can have a heart transplant. You'll still be the same. Your heart is also gone. Every aspect of your physical body can be changed, but you will still remain one by one.
Your soul remains.
Well, we didn't. There is nothing called the soul so far. Have we talked about the soul? No soul,
No, but okay, fine.
right? We are
What is your
talking about the
subtle
subtle
body?
body and the physical body.
Uh,
Krishna Bhagavan
right.
also never talks about the soul. He
Okay.
talks about the subtle body. What we call the soul is actually the subtle body.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but the soul is an English word. It's not a
Okay.
Vedanta
So
word.
what's a Hindi word?
Sukshma Sharir.
What's a subtle body?
Sukshma Sharir.
Shushmish.
Sukshma Sharir.
Hmm.
The Sukshma Sharir, the mind, the one who we are what we are. We are the one that experiences. That's what we are. That is part of the subtle body. So जो हमारा अस्तित्व है, जो मैं हूं, वो is actually part of the subtle body, not the part of the physical body. And Bhagwan Krishna says that is not going to die. What dies is the physical body. So what happens when the physical body dies? You will get a new physical body. Will it make any difference? Like, would you say that you have died? No, because the mind, the pranas or the indriyas are still the same. It's the same you. It's the same you, but a different body. Maybe a different loka even. Maybe a different, everything could be totally different outside of you. Everything could be different. But Krishna Bhagavan tells you that the Sukshma Sharir, which is your mind and the pranas and the indriyas, are the same. It travels. Okay? So when he says, Natve Vaham Jatu Nasam, that means I never ceased to exist. He means not the physical body, because he knows the physical body will cease to exist. It changes all the time. He means the subtle body. The subtle body never ceased to exist, will always exist, and not just me, everybody. Your subtle body, Veena Didi, me, Sangeeta, Seema, हम सब की जो subtle body है, that continues. That's the meaning of this verse.
I have a question here,
Yeah,
Dheeraj.
yeah,
See, like we were just you just discussing that these indriyas are subtle and they process the information, which experience happens in the mind,
right.
and the subtle body allows this experience to happen.
Yes.
So, what about those people who are born with some disabilities, like who are born blind or
Right.
mute and deaf? How do they experience?
So
How does
their
their subtle
experience,
body?
no, their experience will be different, So the subtle body in that incarnation where the body is blind, for that period of time, the subtle body will not experience vision.
Yeah.
See, it's like saying आपकी आंखें भी हैं अगर, लेकिन आप किसी कमरे में चले गए which is completely dark,
Mm-hmm.
आपको कुछ नहीं दिखेगा, right?
Yeah.
You don't know whether it is your eyes because of which आपको कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है, या because of the darkness in the environment. The
Okay.
reality is that the eyes are there. Everything is there. It's just that you don't have, the light is not there, so the information cannot come into your eyes.
Coming to you.
So think
For
about
that
it like this.
that
In this,
particular birth, or for
in that particular
particular,
birth, the subtle body is there. The subtle
Huh.
indriya is there.
but that experience won't happen.
Not won't happen because the information from the outside world has no way to reach the subtle
No
body.
way to reach subtle body.
Right. Because आंखें ही नहीं है, तो आंख के जरिए होती है ना, तो information comes.
Huh. Yeah.
कान के जरिए hearing होती है, So for that particular birth, and that may be because of some experience, because law of karma, right? There may be some reason why that person for
He
that given
survived.
length of time is it needs to experience blindness. It doesn't mean that the person will be blind forever. In fact, they also say कि if you, let's say अभी तो आप पृथ्वी में आए हैं, let's say आप स्वर्ग में पैदा हो. So if you go to स्वर्ग, the subtlety of experience there is much more than available here. For example, there could be many more colors,
Mm. True.
many different frequencies of sound. So they say that with this body that we have, we cannot experience Swarg because we don't have the physical means to process that information. हमारी जो आंखें हैं, it cannot process. You know, like अगर आपके पास कैमरा है, उसका लेंस can only process 4 megapixel. Even if you have everything else which is worthy, which can give you 40 megapixel की resolution, you won't get it. Because you need everything of 40 which is capable of 40 megapixels. So the body, the physical body that is given in the swarg is much more refined. It is without disease. It is always healthy. It has great physical abilities. It has great sensual abilities. You can see many more colors. You can hear much more tones. All of that. Your mind is much more subtle. You can discern much more. That gives you more pleasure. So that is the experience of Swarg, right? But it is the same you. The you is not different. It's the
Yes.
same you because of the a different physical body and a different environment in this world. You get a different experience. Now the same you, when you come to the earth, you will only experience earthly things, not because you're incapable of experiencing, but because that's all your body and the
The limitation.
providing you. That is the result of your karmas. This is what you get. Right? So at least it is not hell. So that is good.
Yeah.
Yesterday I just came across a post on Facebook or Instagram. I can't remember. One of the astrologers was being interviewed, and the question she was asked was कि आपको लगता है कि निर्भया को मोक्ष मिल गया है? You know, the girl who was
Right.
raped some
Right.
years
I
ago in
remember.
India. It
Yeah.
had become a very big case.
Correct.
So that astrologer, what she explained, and I really could not relate to it or understand it, because she said that some souls are chosen to undergo this traumatic journey on earth to raise awareness about a particular topic, and after that they are given the option. So when they are in the soul state, they are given the option that you have an option to go to earth in this thing and undergo this physical or mental trauma, and once, and obviously with the pros- perspective of making or spreading some awareness about a particular topic that will help mankind. So a lot of obviously laws changed, and this happened after Nirbhaya case, and with the guarantee that once you go through all this, you will be given moksha. So
Vedant
is that
doesn't think like that. Vedant doesn't, and this is you'll learn this as you go along. Vedant doesn't say that moksha is something that has to be given to you. Moksha is not something which Bhagwan ji has decided that you are a worthy person, so आपको मोक्ष दे दिया. Moksha is something that you already have. You are already in moksha. But what you have, the problem that you have is ignorance. Remember, the first verse, I don't know whether you were here at that time, it said, anybody can be happy in this world if you have knowledge, if you are a pandita. That is what moksha is. Moksha is not a something else. Moksha means a state where you don't have acute sorrows, where you are content all the times. Whether your life is going up or down or whatever, you're content all the time.
but
You're,
isn't moksha something that is earned, not given by your
it is
karmas?
earned. It is earned by, yeah. So it's not given. First of all, it's earned. It's not moksha that is earned. It's knowledge that is earned. When you get self knowledge, that gives you moksha. So आप हो, मैं हूं, सब हूं, in reality हमारी मोक्ष कभी गई नहीं. See, remember, anything that you will get can always be taken away. That means it's a temporary thing. Let's say अभी आपके पास मोक्ष नहीं है, आपने बहुत अच्छे अच्छे काम करे, आपको भगवान ने मोक्ष दे दिया, राइट? फिर आपने बुरे काम कर लिए, तो उसने मोक्ष वापस ले लेगा. तो वो क्या मोक्ष हुआ? That is just another experience. So moksha is not something which is given to you, because remember, anything that can be given can always be taken away. Always. So moksha is something which you already are, you already have. That is your actual state. But we have ignorance. We don't know. We are caught up in samsara. We are caught up in these attachments, in all of these things around us. And why? Because of our ignorance. Because we don't know what our real self is. So Bhagavan Krishna says that if you want moksha, which is already with you, you want to know that your moksha, then look within. Look at yourself. Understand yourself and realize that your real self is actually moksha only. ये जो हम दुख हमारी जिंदगी में इतने आ रहे हैं, these are the दुख that we are, हम एक तरह से हमने ही अपने ऊपर दुख करे हैं. We can be in the same environment, same situation, and be completely calm. And you can see this, two people facing the same circumstances. One can be completely calm and another can be downright depressed. Same circumstances.
But then why is it always said कि अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो मोक्ष मिलेगा?
Nobody has said अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो मोक्ष मिलेगा. लोग कहते हैं अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो उसका अच्छा फल मिलेगा. अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो स्वर्ग मिलेगा. अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो खुशी मिलेगी. But not मोक्ष. अच्छे कर्म करने का अच्छा फल का मतलब it's telling you that you sow what you reap. But actually, this is only the first level of the teaching of the Gita. कि अच्छे कर्म करो. Actually, what Gita is telling you, which we will go there later on, is that you cannot rely on अच्छे कर्म और बुरे कर्म, because you are beyond all these karams. See, because even the अच्छे कर्म, let's say अच्छे कर्म आपने करे, आपको उससे स्वर्ग मिला. So after some time, the result of that अच्छे कर्म will be exhausted, right? Then you will come back to earth. And nobody can only do अच्छे कर्म. Whether you like it or not, some बुरे कर्म are happening. The fact that you're eating means you're killing some plants, even if you're not killing animals. Every time you take a breath, you're killing kitanus and bacteria. There are all kinds of things happening, consciously and unconsciously. Those also have to be accounted for. So, मैं आपको next time हम करेंगे ना, I will send you a little piece that I did on the law of karma. You should go through it. It's about 15 minutes. And it actually tells you what law of karma really is. Because this is a very simplistic notion कि मैंने अच्छे कर्म करे और हमको अच्छा फल मिला, बुरे कर्म करे बुरा फल मिला. We have a multitude of karams that we've done over our lifetimes, multiple lifetimes. And they are a mix of good and bad. And some of them are extracted in a particular lifetime. And they are part of it extracted and said, okay, these are prarabdha karmas. This is what you have to exhaust in this lifetime. When really good ones, if in your mix there are a lot of good ones, then it's possible that in one lifetime you may only get the good ones extracted. When only the good ones are extracted, really the good ones, then you get to swarg, because that is where you need to be to exhaust those good karmas. To exhaust the bad karmas, you need to be in hell. So karmas have to be exhausted, good or bad. That is the nature of karmas. And knowing yourself means knowing that you are beyond these karmas. Even with your karmas today, even with all the things that you are facing today, all the bad things that you've done or happening, everything, you are still free. You're still in moksha. So, that's basically where the teaching goes. शुरू में हम यही कहेंगे अच्छे कर्म करो, because that is what, मैं बताया था ना, जैसे संगीता ने कहा था, that only when you've got attachment will you learn the value of detachment. सो अटैचमेंट कैसे आती है? कर्मों से ही आती है. अच्छे कर्म विल गिव यू अच्छे अच्छे रिश्तेदार, अच्छे अच्छे बच्चे, अच्छी अच्छी वेल्थ एंड दौलत. बट इट डजंट मीन दैट यू विल नॉट बी अटैच्ड टू दोज थिंग्स. वो आएंगी तो यू विल गेट मोर अटैच्ड टू देम, राइट? सो सो दुख भी आएगा उसके बाद. So actually, what Gita wants you to do is to say, let me let me get beyond this thing about karam, because karam is about external things. मुझे क्या मिलेगा, मुझे क्या नहीं मिलेगा. That is what karam is about. You have to step back from it and say, किसको मिल रहा है ये? Who is it who's getting the good karam? Who is it who's getting the bad karams? Who is suffering? Who is happy? What is this entity in me which is experiencing all these things? It wants you to focus there. And when you focus there, then you begin to realize what you really are. So, abhi first stage क्या है? First stage, he's told you, you are a subtle body, not the physical body. First, let's understand this part. Who is the thing in us जो अच्छे कर्मों को भी एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा है और बुरे कर्मों को भी एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा है? It's a subtle body. इसके बाद आगे बताएगा that is also not it. उसके बाद there's something called the आत्मा, which is even deeper than the subtle body. अभी हमने आत्मा की तो बात ही नहीं करी है ना? So that is how Gita और Vedanta, that's how they go. So yes, अच्छे कर्म करने चाहिए और अच्छे कर्म से का फल अच्छा होता है. There is no denying it. बुरे कर्म नहीं करने चाहिए, but not for moksha, for better experiences. Good karma for good experience, bad karma for bad experience. But moksha is beyond experience. It's not about experience. It's not about an experience of a external entity. It's about an understanding of what you really are already today, just the way you are right now. What are you? Okay? So a panditaha in the first verse is a person who begins to understand that, who says, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि मैं क्या हूँ. Right? Because remember in the first verse, Krishna Bhagavan did not say, अच्छे कर्म करो. Let me show you the verse again, because it's really a very important verse. See, this is the verse. He says, you grieve for those who are not to be grieved for, yet you speak words of wisdom. And then he says, the wise do not grieve for those who are gone and who are not yet gone. So what does he say? Nanu shochanti panditaha. He says, he didn't say that those who've done good karam don't grieve. He didn't say those who have wealth don't grieve, or those who go to Swarg don't grieve. He only brings about one point. And that point is, he says, Panditaha don't grieve. Panditaha is defined as a person who has self-knowledge. That is what is the real meaning of Panditaha in Sanskrit. That's what it means. A person who has self-knowledge. So that's all he says. That the answer to grief is knowledge, not karam. Right? So that's why I was saying this is a radically different from what we have been led to believe all along. Radically different from what we've been told all along. सारा हमको क्या बताया गया है? अच्छे काम करो, अच्छे काम करो, अच्छे काम करो. That is true. अच्छे काम करो. But अच्छे काम does not guarantee moksha. अच्छे काम doesn't mean that you are not going to be attached, that you are not going to be part of the samsar, that you are not going to face dukh. What is the answer for that? The answer for that is knowledge, self-knowledge. That is what the first verse is saying. It lays out the whole of the Gita. You have to keep this in mind when you go through all of the Gita. And then he goes on in the second verse, and there he says, he's indicating, he's not saying you're the subtle body, but that's what he means. Because he's saying, you never died. You never cease to exist.
You will never die.
And you will never die. Nor will the others, nor did I. All of us always exist. Now we know that can't be the physical body. So what else can it be? It is the subtle body. And if you learn this Gita through any teacher, they will explain that to you. That This verse is indicating about the presence of the subtle body and the fact that the subtle body continues forever. If that's not true, actually, technically, subtle body also resolves. That state is called moksha, but that is a different, we'll go, that's a different thing.
Level altogether.
हाँ क्या दीदी?
नहीं आती.
But right now we are just saying, okay, that's what. So he's not been talking about कर्म so far. कर्म की बात करेगा आगे जाके, और उसमें भी he is going to talk about कर्म योग, which is very different from अच्छे कर्म. कर्म योग means doing कर्म without expectation of result. That is कर्म योग. अच्छे कर्म तो है ही, but without expectation of result. अगर हम अच्छे कर्म करते हैं और उसके बदले में हम अच्छी चीज चाहते हैं, so that is not कर्म योग. हम क्यों कर रहे हैं अच्छे कर्म? क्योंकि हमको अच्छी चीज चाहिए. मैं क्यों सारी उम्र मैंने क्यों इतनी मेहनत करी? ताकि मेरे को पैसे मिले. I should do मेहनत so that I can have a happy life. I can give good life to my family. I will not be poor. I can stay in America, for example, right? Some people do a lot of कर्म. दान करते हैं. क्यों दान करते हैं? ताकि हमको अगले जन्म में स्वर्ग मिले या अच्छे जन्म में आगे कुछ मिले. It's all a selfish reason at the end of the day. चाहे तुम अच्छे कर्म करो, बुरे कर्म करो, your desire is only for selfish gain. किसी दूसरे के लिए भी करते हो तो किसके लिए करते हो? अपने बाप के लिए, अपने बेटे के लिए, अपने पति के लिए, अपने सब के लिए, राइट? इट्स ऑल माइन. You're not doing it for just all the people in this world. They are also, so everybody is somebody's father and somebody's son and somebody's husband or wife, right? But we only do for ours. So the nature of karam is such, whether it is a good karam or a bad karam, the nature of karam is such that it is done with an
Selfish purpose.
selfish expectation. So karam yog means saying मैं कर्म करूंगा और करूंगी, but with no expectation other than shuddhi, other than मैं अंतःकरण शुद्धि. So he will talk about that. We probably get there in 2 or 3 classes. It's all in the second chapter. But just so far, these are the so I think the main thing to understand right now is if you understand this diagram that I showed you. Meeta, does this answer your question or is it too confusing? Meeta, you're on mute. I think she's probably not there. But do you guys get it? Because, sometimes this can turn people off. Because they say this is like, it's too much, it's not real, or it's too confusing, or, I can't relate to it. I just want to make sure what you guys feel about what you heard so far. What is your sense? Meeta, you're muted, Meeta.
Sorry, yes.
No, tell me, did it answer your question? What is your reaction to what so far Bhagwan Krishna is saying, or I am saying on behalf of Bhagwan Krishna?
I think I will take time to process it, to be honest.
Of course, I would be very surprised if it was any other way. This is very
No, so I
profound
cannot.
statements and
Yeah,
very different
I
from what we've heard. Very different from what we've heard.
cannot say I have understood it. I think with time it'll get processed.
Good.
Abhi it's too
Too raw.
too raw. Yes.
What about you, Neeta? This is not new for you, right? आप भी mute पे हो. Neeta, you're me.
Yeah. No, I've understood. It is making sense, lot of sense. I think ultimately, it just boils down कि one state of mind हमको ऐसे train करना है कि किसी चीज का असर ना हो हम पे हर situation में. We should be able to deal.
क्या भगवान जी ने क्या कहा था फर्स्ट माइंड में? कैसे करोगे वो? It's not
Knowledge.
by willpower. It's
No,
not
it's by knowledge. Yeah,
by
just
knowledge.
by knowledge,
Through knowledge.
understanding,
Exactly.
understanding
Knowledge is
what
the key.
exactly.
Correct. Knowledge is the key.
Just by knowledge.
Yes. And Prachi, what did you feel? I'm going to ask each one of you, by the way, just to enforce participation.
Yeah, so I mean, it is a new concept. I mean, from whatever we've been thinking, at least I have been reading or whatever.
Hmm.
And I think it, like, like Meeta Didi said, it takes time to sink in and it'll take time to absorb. And I think it'll also take a lot of re-emphasis, right? So multiple classes and you repeating the same thing and
मैंने
then
क्या, अर्जुन, इट टुक, भगवान कृष्ण ने जो गीता का था ना पूरा बता दिया सेकंड चैप्टर में। अर्जुन उसके बाद में फिर पूछता है सम सिली क्वेश्चन, so Bhagwan Krishna realized he has not understood, so he repeated it, then he repeats it, then he repeats it. Arjun asks the same question 5 times in the Gita, and the last time he asked the question is on the beginning of the 18th chapter. Finally, after 18th chapter, he says, okay, now I've understood. And then also, Prachi, then also, after the Mahabharat war, before they all died, Bhagwan Krishna again talked to him. After the Mahabharat war was over, after many years, Arjuna had again forgotten. So he
Mhm.
repeated the Gita in a short version. so, so remember वो अर्जुन का हाल था, who is the one of the most accomplished people, you
Yeah.
know, इतना सियाना बुद्धिमान इंसान, तो हमको क्या, हमारे को तो बहुत टाइम लगेगा. So you're in good company.
Yes.
What about you, Sangeeta?
Sorry, just are you trying to say that this even when a person dies, they always say the soul still remains, but कभी ना कभी तो वो soul भी दूसरा जन्म लेगी ना? फिर
हाँ,
क्या
तो
होता है?
सोल,
Does the soul
तो
move
सोल,
on?
तो मैंने कहा था ना, सोल को आप मत सोचो. सोल इज अ वेस्टर्न
Okay,
कॉन्सेप्ट.
सूक्ष्म
सूक्ष्म शरीर.
शरीर.
तो सूक्ष्म
Hmm.
शरीर इमीडिएटली नेक्स्ट जन्म लेती है. सो अब जाएगा
Immediately.
आगे. हाँ, वेरी इमीडिएटली, मतलब सी व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन यू आर नॉट इन दिस वर्ल्ड, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ टाइम इज गॉन. सो आप, जैसे आप कभी, इफ यू आर अनकॉन्शियस, यू डोंट नो, और इन डीप स्लीप यू
Mhm.
डोंट नो वेदर
Yeah,
2 hours have passed or two years have passed.
yeah, right.
So when you are in a state which is not in this world, when your state is, your time is gone. So everything is immediate till the next time begins, which is when you take birth again. So for you, it may be a long time or a short time, depends. But for that person who you're talking about, it's immediate. So for me, when I go, it will be an immediate next. It will be like one experience is like मैं सो के उठाऊं. अगर आप सो के उठते हो तो आपको क्या लगता है, कितना टाइम सोए थे, कितनी लंबी ड्रीम थी, कुछ पता नहीं चलता. यू जस्ट गेट अप एंड यू कैरी ऑन. दैट्स द सेम फीलिंग after death. You just get up and you carry on with your next incarnation because you have a whole new set of karmas to exhaust. Prarabdha karmas.
But then, how do some people remember their previous birth?
See, those are all those are all things which we need to be very careful. Maybe there are some things where you remember previous birth. I Gita and Vedanta do not address these things. As far as Gita is concerned, and you will see why. You will see as you go along, as you have deepen your knowledge, you'll realize that those questions are pointless. Because you can't, this whole idea of previous birth, new birth, everything is all from the standpoint of a jiva who's living in this world. We have to change our standpoint to a jiva who's the sukshma body. So Abhi, hold that question, okay? There are many such questions which are unanswerable questions, which you hold on right now, and you'll see how your thinking about those
Knowledge
questions
progresses.
changes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so I was going to go. Prachi, sorry, you're going to say something?
So the people we meet along the way or whatever are coincidental or related to your karma as मतलब normally तो वो
Totally
सुनते हैं ना
related to
कि
your karma. There's no coincidence. Everything is related to karma.
so they say ना that you have similar people in like maybe last life this person was my mother or whatever something like that.
Yeah,
So
that,
is that
see,
like
doesn't,
huh,
don't you don't have to think like this. It's your mother this time, whatever, whoever is your mother in your next janam, you will be equally attached to that mother. Okay, that is what I'm trying to tell you. You don't think like this, because what you're seeing, this mother, you're seeing the physical manifestation of this person as the mother. It's the
hmm,
body, it's the attitude, it's the womb, it's it's the physical manifestation. You step away from that and think about the subtle body of your mother.
hmm,
That subtle body doesn't even have a sex.
Hmm.
Is it a male or a female? You don't know.
Hmm.
So in its next incarnation, is it going to be a mother or a father or a son or something else? You have no idea. So all these questions are coming to us because we are caught up in our thinking right now. We think purely as physical bodies.
Hmm.
We think I'm a physical body, my mother is a physical body. That physical body is what I'm attached to. Your attachment is to a physical body,
Hmm.
right? First of all, you have an attachment to your physical body because that's what you think you are. Then you have an attachment to your mother's physical body. So it's all so again, I'm saying this is exactly the same category of question that Meeta was asking. Hold that thought. We'll get there and you'll see how the question has to be changed in your mind for you to get the right answer for it.
Hmm.
Like the question is going to be, why do you want, for example, अगर mother है, why is this need in you next जन्म में to have your mother exactly the same mother in the next जन्म? What is causing that? And what if it was different? But that's a deep question. I don't want us to go there right now. I don't want to confuse you. but but we'll get there. Hold the question is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Okay? But you will answer that question for sure.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to Sangeeta. And then uske baad Seema. And then we can stop.
Anji. So today we spoke about the karmas, we spoke about attachment. So not having attachment to your good karmas is that is what also I get from it.
Yes, but how will you not have attachment?
आप अच्छे कर्म कर रहे हो, ठीक है,
हाँ,
लेकिन अगर आप में ये नॉलेज है कि
yes.
ठीक है मुझे इसके साथ भी अटैच नहीं होना है,
हाँ.
सो
Like,
आई आप कर्मा करते जाओ, ठीक है,
yes,
आप अपनी तरफ से अच्छे ही कर्म करोगे,
right.
आपका दैट इज व्हाट यू आर अट्यून टू,
Yes.
इफ यू आर अट्यून टू डूइंग गुड थिंग्स और गुड
Yes.
कर्मा, द मेन थिंग इज दैट यू डोंट गेट अटैच टू दिस कि ये मैंने अच्छा काम
कर्म किया.
किया,
It should not become an egoistic thing for
या
you.
या
कि मैं
दैट्स व्हाट
इतनी
आई
अच्छी हूं कि
गेट
मैंने अच्छे
फ्रॉम,
कर्म करे. Yes. That
हाँ
is called Karam
दैट्स व्हाट
Yoga.
आई गेट,
That's
या
called Karam Yoga. Doing good karam without getting attached to the results of that good karam is called Karam Yoga.
या
Okay, so that
सो
is a very good takeaway that you have taken from this. But again, it comes from knowledge, right? It comes from
हम्म
knowing how attachments affect you, how they cause grief. Once you know that, then it is a little easier to to stop. But even then, it is very difficult. It's still very difficult to do. Karam Yoga is
Yeah, I agree, because grief, sadness is something that you experience and you may be experiencing, आप अभी भी grief में हो, आप sadness हो of you have lost a loved one, लेकिन इसके ऊपर अगर आप ये भी सोच रहे हो कि हाँ ठीक है, दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ एंड नाउ यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट,
Hmm.
ये एक्सेप्ट करना, उसको,
Yes.
इस चीज को भी, अनलेस आप उसी में डूबे रहो और आपका आपका दिमाग उसी में चलता रहे, रादर देन गेटिंग अप फ्रॉम दैट थॉट इवन,
Yeah. बिल्कुल ठीक है. No, and that's very much the case. There is, and yeah, बिल्कुल ठीक है. I have nothing to add there. I agree with you. Seema ji, any thoughts from you? Sorry, Seema, I'm
Yeah,
picking on everybody. I just want to. I hope you don't
no,
mind.
no, no,
I
no,
just
no,
want to make sure we are all.
absolutely, absolutely not.
नहीं तो मैं ही बोलता
Uh,
रहूंगा और पता नहीं कोई सुनेगा भी नहीं.
नहीं नहीं
Okay.
नहीं, कर्म योग के बारे में जो आप बोल रहे हो तो मेरी लाइफ में प्रैक्टिकली हो रहा है. मैं आई एम हेल्पिंग माय सिस्टर फाइनेंशियली सिंस लास्ट आई थिंक 5-6 years, बट विदाउट एनी एक्सपेक्टेशन कि मैं जो भी हेल्प कर रही हूँ वो मुझे कभी रिटर्न मिलेगा. रादर आई एम थिंकिंग दैट जो अभी हम थोड़े लोग बात कर रहे थे कि शायद कोई पुराने जन्म का आपका रहता है ना कर्ज,
Hmm.
तो मैं तो उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सोच के कर रही हूँ विद नो एक्सपेक्टेशन. तो आई एम जस्ट डूइंग माय ड्यूटी, दैट इज ऑल.
Good. But do you understand all these things about the subtle body, physical body?
Yes,
You do,
yes, yes, yes,
and you are
yes.
okay with them. They are not causing
Yes,
any reaction in you.
No, no.
Okay.
Actually, because I've been doing meditation for
Okay.
many years now, तो इसलिए मुझे थोड़ा ऐसा वैसा वाला कुछ उस तरह के कोई क्वेश्चंस नहीं
Question
होते.
नहीं है. Very good. Very good. Veena Didi, anything you want to say? But you're on mute, just so you know. I think she, I don't know, I'm sure she's there. कभी कभी mute नहीं, दीदी को पता नहीं चल रहा होगा how to unmute. Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think Mama will not know how to
Yeah,
unmute.
no, not to worry.
No,
I'll talk to her.
Nitin, you can
see,
Correct.
Ritika,
हाँ जी दीदी.
Monica, off and on, you go back to your grief again and again.
Correct, correct.
It is
Yes,
very, very difficult to get out of it
yes,
and say, this is what what was given to us for this life.
right.
You always want good things in your life
Yes,
forever,
yes,
which is not possible.
right.
But still, I'm trying to, कहते हैं ना, situations के साथ deal करना is very, very difficult,
Yes,
and especially when you are alone.
yes.
तो अपने आप को
It's very difficult.
समझाना ये, yes. But you have to ultimately do it because there is
Yes.
no choice.
या पर दीदी आपको गीता हेल्प करेगी बिकॉज अभी तो आपने एक थोड़ा सा सुना है बट एज यू कॉन्टेम्पलेट मोर ऑन व्हाट इट्स सेइंग एंड यू सी द ट्रूथ ऑफ इट इन योर लाइफ यू नो ग्रेजुअली ओवर द years you'll see how it helps. I have not come across anybody who has said मेरे को कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ गीता से really
नहीं,
so far.
my concentration is this, that I want to feel the presence of God in all situations.
Yes,
That God is helping me, and I am on this journey looking for God in some way or the other,
yes,
where I can feel the presence of God in my life.
absolutely.
That is what I'm trying to do at
Yes,
this age.
yes. No, no, it's
So,
exactly what Bhagwan Krishna is also saying we should do. But he's saying one more thing, Didi. He's saying ke like exactly what you said कि the God is already there. It's not कि भगवान नहीं है और कहीं और है और आप कहते हो मेरे पास नहीं है. भगवान इधर ही है. हमको सीखना है how to open our eyes and recognize that divinity. That is what is
yes,
we
but I
हम
still do not know how to
how
open
to
it.
do it. But that
Yes,
is the purpose of Gita to tell us that. Because when it says
yes,
na panditaha, when it says self-knowledge, that's what it's trying to say. That your real self is nothing different from God, is not different from divinity. That self is already there. But we are blind to it. So
yes,
there are some people who after study, after experience in life, they are no longer blind to it. That is called moksha. To not be blind to it. That means to know that there is your real nature is the God is there. Deep within you, God is there. And
yes.
once you
But
know that, then there is no question of any sadness or sorrow or depression or
yes,
how will you
but
be
that is
sorrow?
what I'm trying to look for in my life. I want to feel the presence of God in my life.
Yes.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to do, but
And you will.
I can't experience it.
I mean, Bhagwan
Can't
Krishna says
experience
that you will. Okay, who am I to say?
it.
But
Okay.
Bhagwan Krishna says that you will. You
Thank you,
you
Ritu.
do
Thank
Karam Yog, you do Gyan
you.
Yog, you listen to the teachings of the Gita, and
Mm.
try to do good things without expectation, as Sangeeta said very nicely.
Yes, yes.
Just do those things, like Seema said, and over time,
Mm.
that will
I'm
help.
trying to do all that, trying to pray hard, but I have yet to experience the presence of God. That is what I
But that is why
feel
we are all
somebody.
here, Didi. Otherwise, we
Mm.
wouldn't be here. If we
I
have
know.
already experienced God, then what is the point of all this? Right?
Yes, bilkul. Chalo,
Chalo.
maybe God will show his presence in my life sometime in my lifetime,
Correct.
at least. Because I'm trying to find him everywhere. If I'm searching for him, he will definitely show his presence sometime in my life. And
Any other
Seeing your
questions?
mother,
Huh?
I feel she is already experiencing this presence of God in her life. I am also to do that. Chalo, very nice to have you around.
Okay.
As my बिल्कुल बहुत different है ये connection with you.
Yes, I know.
बिल्कुल. चलो नितू.
Okay.
Thank you so
Anything
much.
else from anybody else? Any questions, or should we just call it a day? We can take it again next time.
Yes,
There we
but it is too long a wait
It's
for
too long.
2
Yeah.
weeks
Acha, too
to
long a
see
break.
you. Chalo. And thank you so much
No, thank you,
for
Didi.
making us feel more comfortable in life.
Okay.
You know, this makes you feel more comfortable in your life, whether you are alone or somebody is with you. You know that you have to live. The feeling within you should be that God is with me
Right.
all the time. That is the feeling you should have. And maybe one day you will make us feel that.
No,
And I'll be very
I'm not.
happy.
I'm just repeating what I've heard.
Yes,
So
but
you will feel it
you know,
yourself. I'm not a guru.
God, we are a guru
Okay,
now.
anyway, whatever
Thank
works.
you, Nitin. Thank you, Nitin.
Okay, Didi.
Thank you.
That's it. Anything?
Thanks,
Any other
Baba.
question? Anybody else, or shall we meet again in 2 weeks? Meeta, ठीक है?
Anji, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
ठीक है?
Thank
So
you.
we'll say bye now. We'll talk in 2 weeks, and then we will continue with chapter 2 and understand this a little bit more. Hopefully, over time, all this will become clearer and clearer. Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Meeta,
Thank you.
Meeta,
Bye-bye.
phone karna
Bye.
jara.
Thank
Phone
you.
karna.